Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai SATCHARITRA, an Insight. Episode 199. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnuhu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, in the previous episode, we listened to how Sri Sai Maharaj was not in favor of fasting. Now, in connection to this, let's listen to the perception of Sri Jnanananda Giri Swamiji. On a Dasami day at the Tapovanam, that is at the ashram situated in the district of Kadalur, while Swamiji was circumambulating the temple, a devotee was self-boasting to his friend that tomorrow being Ekadasi, he is going to maintain strict fasting. This statement fell into the ears of Swamiji. Immediately he asked the person, "You mentioned something about fasting. What was that?" The devotee said, "Yes, Swami, I am planning to fast tomorrow." Listening to this, Swamiji said, "Tomorrow Swami will teach you how to fast." Jnanananda Giri Swami would always address himself as Swami in third-person perspective. The devotee was greatly excited to hear this. That night, he stayed in the lodging at Tapovanam that were meant for devotees, and next morning he woke up early, had his bath, and was ready to go for darshan. The close devotee of Swami came to him and said that he is called by Swami. This devotee with great pride walked towards the ashram. When he went to Swami, Swami told him to sit down and looked at his close disciple. He brought a cup of hot coffee. Swami, pointing the coffee, said, "You can drink." Devotee was puzzled. Being an Ekadasi day, he has determined to hold on to strict fasting, whereas Swami is commanding him to drink coffee. But as Swami had instructed, he took the cup of coffee and drank it. Then Swami said, "You can come to Swami after half an hour." The devotee thought that Swami will guide him with fasting after 30 minutes, so he came back to his lodging. In 30 minutes, a messenger from Swami came to call this devotee. He again went to Swami. Swami made him to sit next to him and told his ardent devotee, "I am hungry. Serve the food on the banana leaf." Immediately 2 big banana leaves were laid, one for himself and the other for this devotee. The devotee was baffled and his mind began to ponder. It is Ekadasi and Swami is instructing to lay a banana leaf to serve food for me and himself. What's all this? In no time, hot idlis, sambar and chutney were served on the leaf. This devotee felt that Jnanananda Giri Swamiji has ruined his Ekadasi fasting by serving him food. Anyway, he ate all the food that was served. Then Swami said, "Don't go anywhere. Stay in your lodging and come to meet me in a while." As instructed by Swamiji, he came again and was asked to sit in a chair. Meanwhile, few devotees came to meet Jnanananda Giri Swamiji and they brought fruits, betel leaves to offer. As soon as they offered them, Swami, pointing to this devotee, told them, "Give those fruits to him. Let him eat it." Those visitors passed on the fruits to the devotee, who was determined to keep up the Ekadasi fasting. The devotee held the fruit in his hand, and Swami noticed that and said, "Oh, why are you not eating? Eat those fruits." The devotee's tummy was already full of all the food he ate. He couldn't eat any more. He was regretting that he couldn't keep up with Ekadasi fasting, instead ended up in overeating. Again, Swami said, "If you have any work, you can go and return after some time." Since the devotee didn't have anything else to do, he stayed there. By then, it was noon and time for lunch. Again, 2 banana leaves were brought. A full course meal was served for the devotee and Swami. By now, he has concluded that there is no chance of fasting today. He was even provided with betel leaves and then followed by tea in the evening. With a heavy heart, he left to his room. Around night, Swami sent his close devotee to call him to the ashram. Now Swami asked, "So, how was the fasting today?" The devotee replied in a sad tone, "There is nothing veiled to you. Today's fasting was ruined." Swami, in a surprised tone, asked, "Got ruined? What is meant by fasting?" The devotee replied, "Refrain oneself from eating." Swami laughed out cheerfully and said, "Who said so?" Upa means being closer. Vasam denotes being. So the term Upavasam means staying close to the Guru. Did you not stay close to Swami the whole day? That is Upavasam. Hence, today your Ekadasi Upavasam was complete. Saying so, he placed his hand on the devotee's head in the guise of blessing him. So, through this divine sport, Sri Jnanananda Giri Swamiji had demonstrated that Upavasam is not staying without eating any food, but remaining in the thoughts of Guru or being in his physical presence. Devotees can recall that this same thought was narrated by Sri Hemat Panji in the Ovis that the senses will turn wayward when it is not fed properly. They must be brought under the control by the mind. Otherwise, one cannot sing the glory of the Lord. When the senses don't have energy to perform the activities, how can they get involved in worshipping the Lord? The energy for the body is provided by the Annam, which is Brahman. Hence, staying hungry can't be considered as fasting. So then, few might argue that the scriptures talk about fasting. Is that all not true? No, that's not so. But what they meant by fasting is wrongly understood by many. Upavasam is remaining close to the Guru or in the thoughts of the Guru or God. The one who can remain in God consciousness despite not eating any food that day, that person is said to have fasted. Hence, the divine sport of Jnanananda Giri Swami is underscored here to emphasize that there is no other connection between eating and fasting other than calming the senses and diverting their energy towards God. If a person's mind is craving for food while he is fasting, then that is not called as Upavasam. Instead, one can eat moderate amount of food and focus their mind on God. Now, Hemat Panji moves on to describe the experience that Sri Sai Maharaj had shared on his own. In this story, he uses the term Sarkar. Sri Sai Baba at times would tell parable stories, and sometimes they might be incidences from his past incarnations also. We cannot analyze them with our limited knowledge. The narration that I am going to deliver to you all now is very significant, says Ramanathan brother, because while narrating these types of stories, Sri Sai Maharaj has referred to few places like Patri, and those clues are very useful for research purposes. In this chapter, Sri Sai Baba spoke on various subjects at various instances which can be considered as his divine sayings, and there are many pointers that highlight the significance of Udi. Sri Sai Baba says, "When I was a small boy, for my livelihood, I went in search of job. I walked on and reached Bidgon." Devotees, if you search up for Bidgon, it is in Madhya Pradesh, which is almost 680 kilometers far from Shirdi. One might question if Sri Sai Baba was born in Madhya Pradesh or was he living there in his young age, and few of us even try to investigate if the place Patri is situated somewhere close to Bidgon. Because Mahalsapati had once mentioned that Sri Sai Baba used to make enquiries about some people at Patri with those visitors that came for his darshan from that place. Based on these thoughts, an ardent devotee and research scholar by named B.V. Kerr went in search of this place, Patri. He did various research and found a house which he assumes to be the home of Sri Sai Maharaj. A trust has been formed and Sri Sai Baba temple has been built here to mark the significance of this place. The distance between Patri and Bidgon is roughly 722 kilometers. When Sri Sai Maharaj says he walked all the way to Bidgon, keeping the distance in mind, we can conclude that it must have occurred in the past incarnations, or the Patri mentioned by Sri Sai Maharaj may not be the one in the state of Maharashtra. There might be another place somewhere comparatively closer called as Patri. So they began to find out how many places bear the name Patri. Surprisingly, there are 4 places with the name Patri, and all of them are located around the states of Maharashtra. Let's ponder on those details now. There is a place called Patri in the state of Gujarat, Rajasthan, and another in Madhya Pradesh. The distance between the Patri at Madhya Pradesh and Bidgon is around 111 kilometers. The Patri in Rajasthan is bordering Madhya Pradesh, and the distance between this Patri and Bidgon is only 61 kilometers. The one in Gujarat is almost 700 kilometers far. So, comparatively, the Patri located at Rajasthan is closer to Bidgon in Madhya Pradesh. If detailed investigation will be made at this location, we might get more evidence to support the view that this might be the Patri that Sri Sai Maharaj mentioned. Because Sri Sai Baba used the words walked and walked to reach the place. Hemat Panji has used the words walked twice in the OV as spoken by Sri Sai Baba. These words depict as though the distance might have been covered in a day. This is one of the possibilities, or the whole scenario must have taken place in a different period. Now let's continue to listen to the story that is more profound and narrated by Sri Sai Maharaj. He said, I was looking out for a job and reached Bidgon. There found an opportunity to do embroidery work. 3 boys were already engaged in this work prior to me. The first person was very talented and pleased with his work. The owner gave him a salary of ₹50. The second person was better than him, so he was given ₹100 for his work. The third person was more skilled, so he was granted ₹150 as salary. The owner was extremely happy with my performance. He praised me a lot and gave me twice the money more than all of them put together, which was around rupees 600. As the owner was very pleased, he also gave me a full dress with turban known as Rumal in Maharashtra to my head, chela, that is a beautiful robe for my body. Devotees, now listen to the narration of Sri Sai Maharaj carefully. Though the story took place when he was a young boy, the narration reveals the zeal and his spiritual wisdom. Sri Sai Baba says, "What a man gives will never last, whereas what God gives will last until the yuga lasts. Hence, I packed the turban and chela, which are prone to destruction, and kept them aside." Also, he says, only God can give. None can give enough like that of God, and the true giver is the Lord alone. This assertion of Sri Sai Maharaj reminds me of the true story narrated by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, says Ramanathan brother. This intriguing story took place in the life of King Akbar. We can listen and marvel at this in the coming episode, along with more enthralling leelas of Sri Sai Maharaj. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.